Good morning, dear ladies. Our topic today is how to write the plot summary. In our everyday life, we usually tend to tell stories about what we have already read or heard or seen or watched to our friends or to our family, and in this way we are unconsciously making a plot summary. We tell the most important details about the experience we have encountered, and we tell the story of that encounter. So our topic today is so much related to this experience. How to write a plot summary. First of all, we have to know that the plot summary is simply a brief description of any work of literature. And its aim, what is our aim in writing the plot summary? It is not meant to reproduce what we have already read or watched for the story. Rather, the main point in that, or our main aim in writing our plot summary, is to condense a large amount of information into a short, accessible format that serves the general overview, which fills the main points. So our aim is to make a general overview of a certain information which is condensed to a short, accessible and understandable format, giving thus points. The features of writing a plot summary. There are some points that we have to feature to take into consideration when writing our plot summary. First, it should be, the plot summary should be concise and direct with no repetitions. We have to stick to the point. We have to tell the most important events without going into further details. B, it should be thorough enough to get sense of what happens. As I said, it should be concise and brief, that gives us some sense without getting without being lost into the extra details. C, less importance is led to the chronological order of the original text. Ladies, usually some texts, in fact, are not following the chronological order of the events. The original text does not follow this order. For some aim of the writer, especially in let's say novels or stories that or plays that are emphasizing the psychological aspect of certain characters, or depending on flashbacks, or there is a confusion in the order of events. So when you are making a plot summary, you are going to put these events into their correct chronological order, because you are supposed to have read the whole story and you know what happened first and what happens later. D, no universal length is supposed to be given to all kinds of plot summaries. First of all, the writer of that plot summary is the one who decides, yet he should follow some rules about writing plot summaries, for example, for films or TV series, or for novels and written literary works. We are going to discuss these rules later. E, do not make your plot summary based on others' plot summaries of the original text. Why? Because first of all, we are going to see that you are supposed to write it with your own words. Secondly, because the original text gives you the emotional impact of the writer, of the original writer, while the summary of some person gives you the emotional impact of that person, not the original writer. You need to know the emotional impact, the way, the style of the writer, his attitude, and that's why you are supposed to base your summary or plot summary on the original text. Now we have to think about two points: how to organize our plot summary and how to write our plot summary. Before writing the plot, we have to know certain points, or we have to put in our mind certain points. The first point is that we are supposed to write with our own words, and we may use the words of the original writer if we see, or if we think that his words are more understandable, or are more apt to give the emotional influence of that event. We may use some words, we may use some phrases, but not the whole text. The second point is that the best way to organize your plot summary is by using the present tense. When you write your summary, use the present tense. For example, in Act 1 or in Act 2, the author describes such and such, or the writer introduces such and such, or the story begins with such and such. Okay, so here we use the present tense in order to give here we use that tense, present tense, in order not to be confused about the order of events. Number 3, we have to read the piece of work a second time. Of course, when we are supposed to write the plot summary, it is supposed that we have already read the original text, and now we are supposed to make another reading before writing the summary. After the second reading, we put away the work or the piece of work for some time before we start to write. The fifth point is that you decide to cut and skip the details of the original text. So in your decision, you have to decide what to cut and what to keep. Okay? Of course, we have to know what are the important and what are the unimportant. What is the main and what is the minor, or major and minor details in the original text to include or discard. The sixth point before writing your plot is that you have to put in mind that you should submit your writing to proper number of words, and it should never be longer than required. As we said, that you have to put in your mind what is the numbers you are going to use in writing your plot summary. Now, how to cut and what to cut are two questions we are going through when we are writing our plot summary. First of all, how to cut? Simply, you choose to cut as much as possible the details which are minor to the main idea or main points or important features of the original fiction. So when we cut details, we have to find that our final version of the plot summary gives the main and important features of the original fiction. Okay, now what to cut? We said that the details which are unimportant, like lengthy episodes that rise suspense, and descriptive sections also which rise suspense, are cut because they represent repetitive intervals. Yet, as we said, never cut the important parts of the original text. Now, what are the recommendations for the proper length for plot summaries? Encyclopedia has recommended some guidelines for writing the plot summary. It recommends that for film style guideline, or for making a plot summary for films, you have to decide to write from 400 to 700 words. In TV style guideline, you must follow, or you are supposed to follow the style of 200 words for episodes and episode lists, and no more than 400 words for standalone episodes. For novels, the novels, the plays, full-length literary works, you follow the novel style guideline ranging between 400 and 700 words in writing your plot summary. Now, what are the steps to write our plot summary? We have to be informative. That is, to write the introduction of our plot summary by using the first two sentences talking about the title of the literary work and its author. For example, we say in the Scarlet Letter, which is a novel. In the Scarlet Letter, Nathaniel Hawthorne, the writer, explores and we add information. Second point, when we start to write, we have to start a general sketch of events, of omitting the unnecessary details, and putting in our mind that we include the important points, the most important or main points, without repetition and without intruding our opinions, evaluations, and subjective interpretation. Because we have to keep the attitude of the writer. If we intrude our own subjective evaluations and interpretations or opinions, we are going to put ourselves in the author's shoes, while we are not supposed to do this. Now, never write questions within your plot summary, because this part of writing, plot summary, is not supposed to give a platform for discussions. It is only telling what is happening or what has happened in that piece of work. Also, we avoid copying. We have to compare our writing with the original text, and we have to be sure that we don't too closely copy the original text. If we have already done that copying, we are advised to revise our work and write it again without those copying. As I said earlier, only if we feel that the phrase, the original writer's phrase or word may give a more influential impact or effect on the reader of our plot summary than our words, we use the original writer's words. Now, the last thing in writing our plot summary, we have to make our final statement, the last sentence or the last two sentences. We write it in such a way that it is related to the starting sentence, serving as a conclusion to the whole body of work. I hope, ladies, that short discussion of the plot summary finds some importance for you and gives you some useful information. Thanks for your listening, and see you soon, inshallah.